Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's Monday. How you doing? Hope you had a good weekend. Happy Easter. Again, to those who participate in that kind of stuff, like I did. We had a lovely Easter holiday. Hung out with the baby. Got to see the baby yesterday, and the grandmas and the folks that we hang out with every Easter. Hope you all are having a wonderful day too. It's weird because I got up this morning to more snowflakes. Now, I don't mean like the kind that we find on Twitter and in the former Tumblr readers. I mean actual freaking snowflakes. And I always love that. I live in Minnesota, so I should expect it sometimes in April. In fact, isn't there a song, Sometimes It Snows in April? I think Prince wrote that. I don't know if that's the name of the song, but it's just, I just laugh because it's just more proof of global warming. So anyway, get ready for the show, which is a lot of just random things, a couple things that are related to certain other things, but, and I have a title, so it has to do something about the title of the Helpless one. At least we're calling it Helpless now. And, we'll get there. Hey, before I play the intro, though, thank you, tall person, with the first deuce, dropping a deuce in the tip jar. Thank you very much. Whoops. There, let me try that again. Thank you, tall person. And who says, Happy National Animal Crackers Day. Happy National Animal Crackers Day. So I'm assuming he means like polar bears and swans and oh no, that was bad. Bad dog. Bad dog. If you got the joke, you can laugh. But anyway, thank you, tall person. I appreciate it. Johnny, play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dog Night. I've been muted this whole damn time? Oh, I see. That must have turned off. Was that muted the whole fucking time? Oh, I swore in the first 30 seconds. Well, maybe not. What happened there? How did that happen? Oh, I doubled that up. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Night on the internet. And welcome back to the P-Dog Night channel on this Monday, the 18th of April 2022, which would be it'd be tax day today. Get your taxes in, what's going on here? Oh my gosh. Get your taxes in. You got to mail them by midnight. Thanks for everyone reminding me that I was muted. I forget. See, I have to mute this during the intro because I make it so I used to not be able to hear the intro. And so I have to mute it because otherwise you get an echo because it comes through both my mic and whatever. So, and then I sometimes forget to unmute it. So thanks for reminding me. Yes, we're in boomer vision. So anyway, it's Monday and the first thing I saw this morning, I always check Twitter because a lot of the latest news shows up on Twitter. And I saw this pathetic, story about a tweet from yesterday. John Harwood, I think he works for CBS News, and he was tweeting about how he's referring to the Joseph Rahim Biden, and he's saying there's just not much President Biden can do about it. I was like, wait a minute. Do about what? And so then I look, I found this on one of my favorite sites, Twitchy, which it makes fun of tweets by stupid people. And so here's the article. Sorry, guys. It's not Biden's fault. Biden sucks, and there's just not much Biden can do about it, or something like that. At least that's what John Harwood claimed in this crap piece he wrote for CNN, which we'll go through the article. But I just thought it's gotten to the point where rather than seeing Joe Biden as this great leader that we're supposed to have the most popular president in the history of the United States of America, more votes than anyone ever, even more than Barack Obama. But this pathetic mess of a man just can't do anything about it. And, there is some truth to some of it, at least with the last part that I said, the pathetic mess of a man. And it's funny because I called it, what I say, helpless, but more like feckless. He's a feckless human being. But, I have to, before I get into it, I just realized I haven't said hi to everybody. So let me refresh this tab right here. And let's say good morning to everybody, because I want to make sure that I acknowledge the great viewers of the show, especially those who show up quickly. So, first in the chat today was, wait a minute, that's not right. Is that right? What happened to Zombie Teddy here? Well, Zombie Teddy was here first. So Zombie Teddy, you get the bell for being first. Thank you for being here. So bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Also, good morning, Somnambule Nation and Advocates Diabli and Ty Alexander. Black Hebrew Israelites here.
That's right.
Who seems a little salty about not getting the bell today. I see that. Also, good morning to good morning, Selected Boy and Mike boy. Savage, Blarg. Good morning, Rotten Corpse, Neon Leon. Maddie's in the house. And Maddie, yes, I have been to the Egan Arms pub. In fact, I don't live too far from there. Yes, Egan Arms pub. It's a nice place here in the southern suburb of St. Paul. Great place. Great. Now I'm just talking to Maddie right now, but we used to go up there for the sausages. They had those, I don't remember what the hell they called them, but we used to do the sausage appetizer. That was really good. They have some good, in-house made sausages are really good. Anyway, also good morning to Tall Person, who's already sponsored the show. Thank you for dropping a deuce in the tip jar. I still love saying that. I don't know why. It's just funny. Good morning, Don Julio, Gulf City Biker and Trash Man, Septus Wolf. Also my favorite Canadians in the house, Jaeger Pony. Also good morning to Sean DW is back. Nice to have you back, sir. Morning, Mr. P-Dog. Morning, my fellow degenerates. Yes. And also good morning to Evil Ones in the house and DI Freighter Watcher. And let's see. Is that kind of Chicago Mike's here? CNN Sucks here. Nice to have you all here. I scrolled down. Am I caught up? I kind of am. Looks like it. And Tyler F., of course. Good morning to all of you. Hit the like button sometime during the show. Share the stream right now. Go click that arrow. It's right somewhere in there. Probably more like that way. Okay, there's a arrow that says share. Click that. Put it out on your favorite social media. Tell people you're here and that they should be too. Also, thanks for sponsoring the show. You can do that at pdognight.live or YouTube Super Chats or Venmo or Cash App. All that information is in the description down below. But pdognight.live, you can watch the show, participate in the chat, and drop a couple bucks in the tip jar every now and then if you get a hankering, or if you want to write a commercial, if you want to say something that you absolutely need me to say out loud to the rest of the world. Click one of those buttons. All right. Let's get into Mr. Feckless, though, the feckless one. This John Harwood tweet. Biden confronts a host of problems he can't do much to solve. There's not much President Biden can do about the heaviest weights depressing his political standing, okay, I'll get to the tweet, but so basically, here's what it is. There's not much President Biden can do about it. There's not much he can do to curb inflation. There's not much he can do to stop migrants from reaching America's southern border. Wait, we're going to read the article. Don't worry. To reduce crime or to make vaccine resistors get shots that would hasten the end of the coronavirus pandemic? What? John, what the hell are you talking about? Well, but anyway, it's just, he's helpless. He's helpless, y'all. He's helpless. They've got to be shitting us. All these issues stem directly from Biden and the Democrats' crap policies. What John and his pals in the media are really doing is running cover so when Democrats lose bigly in November, they can say it wasn't his fault. There's nothing he could do. Oh no. So probably people, maybe I should read the article first and then we can read some of these replies because they're kind of hilarious. Anyway, so let's read the article because I am very curious why John Harwood of CBS News thinks Biden confronts a host of problems he can't do much about. Oh, poor Joe. Poor Joe. Hey, Joe. You just can't do nothing at all. Doom, 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 doom. Hey, Joe. Maybe you should just go walk around the mall. Doom, doom, in your comfortable shoes. Doom, 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 doom. Hey, Joe. You're a pathetic loser now. With puppet hands up your ass. Doom, 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 doom. Hey, Joe. I'm not going to finish this song with any type of class. Because you're an asshole. Down, 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 down. Boom, boom, doom, 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 ding, doom, boom, doom, doom. I wrote that. Did you like that? I wrote that. That was... I'm pretty proud of that. So there you go. Anyway, good morning, Kessler. How you doing? All right. Anyway, so here's the article by John Harwood of CNN and formerly of CBS News. He's just a piece of work. Anyway, here it is. Maybe we should, I think it'd be a good time. Wait, hang on. Let me, this has a need for music written all over it. I can just tell already. So we're gonna make this a very solemn occasion. And wait, you didn't start? Oh, I missed something there. We're gonna get some solemn music that fits the mood of what we're doing here because it's just, well, the pathetic part of it is just so. So here we go. Let's find some proper music. I don't know if I'll play it through the whole thing, but here we go. There's just not much President Joe Biden can do about it. There's not much he can do to curb inflation. There's not much he can do to stop migrants from reaching America's southern border, or to reduce crime, or to make vaccine resistors get shots that would hasten the end to the coronavirus pandemic. There's not much he can do to compel cooperation from defectors within his thin Democratic congressional majorities. There's nothing at all he can do to compel it from Republican adversaries who would rather aggravate than alleviate his burdens. In other words, there's not much Biden can do about the heaviest weights depressing his political standing, which has remained stuck in the avalanche warning zone for months. So, pause. Hold up. Whoa. What is this? Thank you, Chicago Mike. With the nearly dropping a deuce in the tip jar. Who says, I like the Jimi Hendrix version better. Okay, whatever. Oh, by the way, I forgot. Tall Person, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you very much. I forgot to tell you that. Mike, I hear you. I like his version better too. I think it's better. I think it was better thought out. I don't think he pulled it out of his ass like I did. So I feel you, brother. I feel you. That was much better. All right. Anyway, but okay, where are we at in this article? Because we need to put the music back on because it's required of this one. Oh, wait, what the hell? That's not what I'm looking for. Here, there we go. So in other words, there's not much Biden can do about the heaviest weights depressing his political standing, which has remained stuck in an avalanche warning zone for months, so his party faces the likelihood of a substantial November election defeat that hands the House and perhaps the Senate to the GOP. Biden and his aides will spend the next 7 months trying just the same, using the White House bully pulpit. Wait a minute. Wait. Hold up. Stop that music. Stop it. Using the White House bully pulpit. The White House bully pulpit means you would have to be able to communicate from the White House bully pulpit. And poor Joe can't complete sentences. Anyway, executive authority, international diplomacy. Oh my God. Using the White House bully pulpit, executive authority. Wait, do you want him to do some more executive orders that really are constitutionally questionable? A lot of them. And international diplomacy. Marginal benefits represent the best they can hope for. We're continuing on this stupid article. It recalls the 1960s era lament of a beleaguered President Lyndon Baines Johnson, who complained that the only power I've got is nuclear and I can't even use that. That applies literally to Biden's predicament on Ukraine. Yeah, thank you, Chicago Mike, again for sponsoring the show. Yes, Mike says there's nothing he could have done to fix what he broke. Or that's a question, but because he broke a lot of shit as soon as he got into office, and clearly what he's done hasn't been great. So anyway, he's saying, he continues, that applies literally to Biden's predicament on Ukraine, where the risk of catastrophic escalation precludes direct intervention by America's military to halt Russian aggression. Well, sometimes it would have been smart to figure out a way to, let's just say this: as much as the guy with the funny hair, everyone was worried about him. It didn't happen on his watch. Maybe he didn't screw up in Afghanistan so terribly. Anyway, now, frustrated fellow Democrats insist the administration can get politically healthier with better messaging. Yes, it's just a messaging problem. That's all it is. That might sound persuasive had the president's party not lost House seats in 26 of the last 29 midterm elections over more than a century. Biden's four most recent predecessors with varying communications acumen communications acumen. Yes, that may be a challenge for a bit too. All lost control of one or both chambers of Congress in midterms. Opportunistic Republicans say Biden needs to shift ideological directions. They fault his policies, radical, far left, socialist, or worse, for creating the conditions turning voters against him. Maybe. Inflation provides their strongest evidence. Liberal and conservative economists share a growing consensus that Biden's $1.9 trillion with a T American Rescue Plan last year pumped too much money into the economy. Oh, you think? Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Who says, I'll use my super chat for jokes. Okay, here we go. Recent scientific study has found that 9 of 10 men prefer big boobs. That other man prefers the 9 men. Oh! Thank you,
right.
Israelite, for sponsoring the show. He'll be here all stream. Now, inflation provides the strongest evidence. Liberal and conservative economists. Okay, we said that already. They're saying that even liberal and conservative economists share a growing consensus that Biden's $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan last year pumped too much money into the economy. Wow, because if you listen to Joe Biden, he would tell you that every expert economist that he knows thinks his plan is the greatest plan since sliced bread. I'm a little gassy. Holy shit, I do have a cup of coffee here. I can push that down. Anyway, that money accelerated the economic recovery and helped restore 1 million of jobs. Wait, what? What? You cannot look at single economic indicators to determine how the economy is going. And in fact, we're probably sliding into a recession right now. But hey, John, you do you. You write you. And helped restore millions of jobs. You mean we let people go back to work when they were working before the pandemonium? I almost said the wrong word. But by supercharging consumer demand, it also worsened inflationary pressures already building in the U.S. and around the world as the economy emerged from stupid 19 shutdowns. Yet, the White House can't fundamentally alter that reality now. You're right. It might be too late. Good morning, Random American. Efforts to smooth gnarled supply chain. Well, by the way, the thing on the supply chain thing, I'm beginning to think that's a California issue. California's screwing it up for all of us because they're really not. They're doing all these regulations and shit in their ports and trucks and all this other stuff, and that because there's no big backup in Florida when people are bringing stuff through Florida and through the East Coast. They're not having those problems, but the West Coast is pretty much California. I mean, Oregon and Portland and Seattle have big ports too, but the ports in Long Beach and Los Angeles are the ones that are just majorly backed up. What do Los Angeles and Long Beach have in common? Oh, freaking California! Anyway, enough rant there. Efforts to smooth gnarled supply chains, use of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve because we screwed up our gas production, to expand oil supplies or waive air pollution regulations to produce more fuel with less gas. What? Can modestly offset rising prices. Yeah, moderately, but, events abroad from the new stupid 19 shutdown in China to developments in the war can swamp them in a flash. Yep, you set yourself up for this. Outside voices such as the eminent Democratic economist Larry Summers prescribe more potent options, such as lifting tariffs on Chinese imports, shelving, quote, Buy America, end quote, requirements that limit competition in government purchasing, and expanding immigration to loosen a tight labor market. Okay. Or maybe find ways to increase the labor participation rate by they stopped giving people free money, but that's another reason. The labor participation rate's really low right now. And could it be, it's part of it sure could be an aging population, but I think most of us, there's still people not going back to work for whatever reason. But a lot of people have. That's why they've created so many jobs. Anyway, but because really, look, expanding immigration to loosen a tight labor market, that would have to be illegal immigration, right? I would think. Anyway, each of these options, however, carries toxic political side effects. Other issues have made Biden the victim of circumstances, as presidents often find. Illegal immigration, which has paralyzed Congress and bedeviled chief executives for decades, presents a quintessential no-win problem. Even before he took office, Republicans blamed Biden for a border crisis over migrant flows that began increasing in 2020 under President Donald Trump. Oh my God. Okay. The flows that began increasing to the border under President Donald Trump, was this before or after the election? Hello, Zach to the future. Was this before or after the election? I'm guessing, because the sharp rise in border crossings happened, not long after he was elected. And boy, they haven't seemed to slow down a bit. Holy shit. Okay, so it began increasing in 2020 under President Donald Trump, to the extent that further increases resulted simply from trading Trump's harsh on immigrants profile for Biden's more congenial one. The incumbent can't change that. Really? He can't change how he speaks about immigration? Oh, good God. Anyway, to the chagrin of core supporters, Biden has made only incremental immigration policy changes. Now, as the administration prepares to lift stupid 19 restrictions on the border that health conditions can no longer justify. What? Wait a minute. What COVID? What 19 provisions on the border? They weren't even testing people coming across the border. And what does that have to do with the illegal immigration? You got to be kidding me. Anyway, electorally vulnerable Democrats have joined the pile-on from the right. The frightening upsurge of murders also began in the 2020 pandemic year before his presidency, for reasons criminologists will debate for decades. So did the spike in fentanyl death. Okay, where was that crime rising exponentially? Seemed to be in cities where you had those particular attorneys general or generals, I don't know what you call them, that were very, 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 well, I don't know, during the protest, and they started just, oh my God, this is hurting my head just reading this. Tell you what, let me thank Ty Alexander first. Ty Alexander, by the way, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, sir. Who says, can't we just yeet Puddin' Brain, Lushy Pelosi, the cackling whore, Shifty, Schumer, Yertle the Turtle, No Clue Lou, Da Squad, Mythical Nadir, Clinton Ellie, and her husband, and many of their supporters to the center of the sun? FDG the entire lot to them. Well, I think everyone, apparently everyone liked that one. Sure.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, that would be great. Thank you for sponsoring the show, Ty Alexander. You are a great American. And hello, nomads in the house.
Stop. Hammer time.
So anyway, so now listen. Now this is hilarious. So listen to the next sentence. So I'm going to read that sentence again just so you can get the juxtaposition of the following sentence after that. The frightening upsurge in murders also began in the 2020 pandemic year before his presidency for reasons criminologists will debate for decades. Yeah, loosening standards by attorney generals and not prosecuting criminals. So did the spike in fentanyl deaths. Okay, but it has gotten worse since the Biden presidency. Now, the next sentence though. Tougher firearms regulations from Washington, such as last week's executive action on ghost guns, Biden's substitute for congressional inaction, can't change much on the American streets. You know how little that's going to change on America's streets? Do you think tougher firearms regulations from Washington and these so-called congressional inaction has anything to do with the upsurge in murders? How many of those murders are being done by people who get their guns legally? I'm just curious. How many NRA members or legal gun owners, people who have licenses or whatever, go and get their background checks? How many of those people are causing this upsurge in crime? I'm going to guess an infinitesimal percentage, if at all. The idea that, oh, well, we just have to have some more tougher gun laws. Really? Because the surges in particularly gun crimes are happening in places like Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, where gun laws are stricter than anywhere else in the country, but it's not doing a damn thing. So I have to laugh about that. The president's rejection of defund movements targeting local police departments as the early struggles of New York City Mayor. Nor can the president's rejection of defund movements targeting local police departments as the early struggles of New York City Mayor Eric Adams made clear. Biden could receive political help from others. Oh, here's where this is. Okay. Here's the help Biden could receive from others. Democratic Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia could finally deliver the decisive vote for parts of the president's stalled economic agenda. What is his economic agenda? To spend another $3.3 trillion. Build back better? How is that going to stave off inflation? Money machines go brrr. Holy shit. The Federal Reserve could raise interest rates skillfully enough to calm voters' inflation fears without precipitating a recession. Really? Now, raising interest rates could slow down the flow of capital a little bit, but then that would not, of course, that's going to cause a little bit of economic downturn. You tighten up on the money, you make it harder for people to borrow money to put things in that, whatever, to build shit. But, that's a tightrope walk. That's always a tightrope walk. Okay. The Supreme Court. Now listen to this. This is funny. This is John here is going to say that the Supreme Court, by discarding the constitutional right to abortion, could jumpstart mobilization of Democratic voters, and an increasingly radicalized GOP could nominate unelectable candidates in pivotal Senate races. So he's like, this is him hoping for Democrats to do better. Democratic candidates this fall could use campaign attacks to generate the sharp national contrast that presidents typically use to recover from midterm setbacks in their own re-election years. Trump's aberrant behavior culminating in the deadly January 6th insurrection against American democracy. presents a unique political target. You know what's funny about that? That the insurrection, you're starting to see some of the other video come out around that day, and how the Capitol Police were just letting people in the Capitol willy-nilly, just, oh, come on in, and people were walking in calmly. It wasn't in that the west entrance of the Capitol building. The police were just like holding the doors for them, letting them in, didn't confront any of the people walking in at all, let them walk in, hold the door, walking with them, talking to them, taking pictures with them. There's all kinds of video coming out that's showing that. It's like, oh, some of these people have been charged with trespassing. We're letting the building, and we do have the first case where the so-called trespasser was acquitted because they had video of the police opening the door for him and letting him just walk in. Come on down, just like, what's that guy from, what's Johnny Eubanks from The Price is Right, is that his name? Come on down. So anyway, and even that is blowing up in their face. But anyway. But history shows presidents can rarely change the political weather in midterm elections. Though the specific meteorological conditions change, the weather is nearly always bad. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell observed last week that the Democratic-controlled White House and Congress had hit a perfect storm of problems. Every available gauge indicates he's right. So John here is seems to be accustomed to the fact that there's going to be a red wave, a bloody red wave across Washington. Okay, so anyway. So here's how, by the way, real quick, thank you, a bunch of people. Let's see, Evil One and Scribed Light, and who's this? Wait, what's going on here? I don't know who that is. Maddie and Tall Person and Somnable Nation. Thank you all for tweeting out the show. I always appreciate y'all doing that. You help a lot. And I'm up 28 subscribers over the last 28 days. So one a day. 10,000 before my 1,000th episode. I got to get cracking on the project 10,000. But anyway, so here's some of the replies to John, the Harwood article. This is kind of funny, or at least some of to the tweet. Breaking, CNN reports that the President of the United States is helpless, impotent, and benign, just like everyone said he would be, a hapless space holder who is unable to accomplish anything beyond weekends at Camp David's. Well, his whole presidency is like weekends at Bernie's, so that's pretty appropriate. It's not the president's fault. His policies are destroying the country. Here's another one. Sure, John, Biden is just some bewildered bystander, completely impotent in the face of problems. You go with that. That's what the American people see. Imagine John thinking this is a good talking point to push. Yeah. Really, John, tell us how much money is Brandon administration paying you for being a quack? Let's see. When somebody is president of the United States, the responsibility is total. And then here, President Biden, speaking to the National League of Cities, says inflation in the U.S. right now is due to stupid 19 and Vladimir Putin and gas prices. Yeah, the Putin price hike. And the bar is lowered yet again, so the twitchy followers are laughing. Oh, wait! And they'll keep lowering the bar to pretend they didn't elect a Botox-filled puppet because they were so broken by Trump, they'd have elected anyone, clearly. We've seen bologna sandwiches that would be better presidents than Joe Biden. Well, I'm not sure there's a whole lot of distinction there. And just for fun, we searched to see how Harwood covered Trump's challenges. He was more willing to blame bad orange man. So here we go. Here's back in, 19th of October 2017. He says Kelly's account is consistent with Trump trying to console a grieving widow, Trump failing, upsetting her more, Representative Wilson telling the truth. Oh, for that matter, Kelly backed up Representative Wilson's account, at least part, as he slammed her for listening to the call and speaking out. Okay, Trump's mission to revive coal is failing. Power plants expected to consume less coal in 2020 than any time since President Carter. Largest U.S. miner run by outspoken Trump supporter Robert Murray announced it failed to make multiple payments to lenders. Okay, I don't know what he's. There's just they're going through a bunch of his tweets. You can look at that shit yourself. So anyway, let's see if there's anyone in here too. Oh no, that's what I do there. That was dumb. Let's fix this real quick before I shoot. Hang on. All right. Oh, it's because my mouse wasn't working. Give me a moment. I don't have producers here, people. Anyway, let's move on. So this brings me to an article in the Washington Post from Saturday. And I found this fascinating that the Washington Post would write an article like this with an incumbent president in office. Okay. And I think I know, well, I know why a little bit, but anyway, but the fact that they published an article called "The Top 10 Democratic Presidential Candidates for 2024 Ranked." Now, this article is, well, this is also a little bit hilarious. I'm just telling you, this one's hilarious. By someone named Aaron Blake. Okay, and I gave you an archive version because it is the Washington Post, and if you click too many Washington Post articles, you just need to go read the archived one. Anyway, in late February, we were all preoccupied, sounds like a porcupine, preoccupied with events elsewhere in the world, so you would be forgiven for having missed even a very interesting poll about U.S. politics. We did, and we write about these things for a living. The poll, they're going through the ranked here. The poll from YouGov asked about the 2024 Democratic presidential primary. Only 21% of Democrat-leaning voters had said their choice was the incumbent Democratic president, Joe Biden. 21%. Their choice for the Democratic president nominee for 2024. The next president of the United States, or the next term of a president of the United States, only 21% said their choice was Joe Biden. This is your incumbent. 2 years, just under 2 years into his presidency. Holy shit. That put him barely ahead of the 18% who said they weren't sure who they supported. Undecided is 18%, 21% Joe Biden. You're president of the United States. I don't know if that's a record. I don't know. But oh my God. And then Vice President Harris and Bernie Sanders, he each had 14%. This is not normal. We've seen some evidence that Democrats aren't sold on nominating Biden for a second term, including a poll in November showing a majority of Democrats didn't want him to run again. A majority don't want him to run again. But lots of Republicans say the same about a repeat run for Donald Trump in 2024. Donald Trump's not the president of the United States. Yet he's the clear front runner when you pit him against actual would-be opponents. Democrats need to decide what this means for them. Certainly there's an argument to be made that the best path forward is to pick a different nominee. You think? Oh my gosh. But if Biden is intent on running again, do you allow a competitive primary that could put the choice in the voters' hands? Oh, no. We wouldn't want it. Aren't these the same people who are always bitching about, you're damaging our democracy? I think you put the choice in the voters' hands in a democracy, don't you? But then you'd risk damaging the incumbent president, a la Jimmy Carter versus Ted Kennedy in 1980. Well, you had a weak president, and Jimmy Carter was going to win either way, so it doesn't matter. Do you subtly suggest that to Biden that it might be better to pass the torch or hope that it works? Or do you just hope things with this presidency get better? These are very important questions. And we'll likely have to wait until after Democrats see how the 2022 elections pan out. But in the meantime, we've seen the kind of jockeying you might expect in such a scenario. Biden hasn't even been totally explicit that he will run again, which would seem to give the green light to others prepping for the case that he won't. With all that in mind, we're changing our approach to our quarterly presidential rankings. In previous installments, we've excluded Biden from the list, suggesting we'd probably have a true primary only if he didn't run. But we increasingly need to consider the possibility that if he does run, he won't have the field to himself, and that he might not be the best or the most likely nominee, all things considered. Below are our latest rankings. Now, this is special. I'm just telling you. This is special. Number 10. Hold your hat. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Oh, my God. The more obvious path for the 32-year-old Congresswoman would be to bide her time for the right opportunity to run for the Senate. She passed on the primary against Senate Majority Leader Charles E. Schumer, Chucky Boy, this year, but she would have a good shot against Senator Kirsten Gillibrand in 2024. I doubt it. Okay. Give me a break. Do you honestly believe the entire state of New York would vote for this dumbass? I'm sorry. She's in a very super extra special, super safe Democratic district that she can win. Can she win the entire state of New York? Hell no. They think she's an idiot. But they said, or she could go for even higher office, for which she polled at 6% in that YouGov poll. Oh, a whole 6% among Democrats. Give me a break. She doesn't seem to be taking the kinds of steps that others on this list are, but she would have a built-in base, and the progressive lane would be significantly more wide open this time, since Senator Sanders said he's very likely out. And she was ranked 10th last time. Oh, good God. Number 9, Gavin Newsom. Okay, I hate to break this to you, America, but no. Gavin Newsom might have trouble winning California again. Gavin Newsom is not seen as serious among the rest of the country. I don't think so. Some California political watchers have noticed the governor seeming to weigh in more often in recent national political debates. It's painfully obvious Newsom wants to run for president one day. San Francisco Gate's Eric Ting wrote this week. Exactly how that would go down is less obvious. Newsom notched a big victory in the much-watched recall vote last year. Barely. But how he'd wear on voters outside of the Golden State is a big question. Newsom practically exudes West Coast liberal, even as he's probably a bit more moderate than some people realize. Previously, number 8, Cory Booker, the crier-in-chief, the senator from New Jersey, was one of the most prominent faces of the Democrats' effort to confirm Ketanji Brown Jackson to the Supreme Court, delivering some heartfelt lines. You mean some heartfelt ass-kissing about the momentousness of the occasion. His 2020 campaign came nowhere close to capitalizing on the promise of his early political career because he's a moron. But Booker is just 52 and could still have another act on national stage. Number 7, Sherrod Brown. Okay, raise your hand if you know who Sherrod Brown is, the senator from Ohio. Give me a break. He's not going anywhere. Roy Cooper, I'm skipping just reading his because please, give me a break. Roy Cooper, nope, nobody knows who he is. Amy Klobuchar, The senator from my state, well, here, the senator from Minnesota would seem to benefit from a Biden-free race, just like some of these others would benefit from a Sanders-free race. But how much? Her high watermark in 2020 was 20% in New Hampshire, where she underperformed in Iowa long before Biden really kicked things into gear. She was ranked fourth. Elizabeth Warren. Do not make Indian sounds, Marty. Don't do it. No time out. Do not time out. Nope, no time out. Sanders' camp has suggested Biden will face a progressive challenger in 2024, but exactly who would that wing of the party line up behind? Politico reported recently that top Sanders aides have gotten involved in setting up the field for 2024, but by pushing for Representative Ro Khanna of California to run rather than building up Warren. Sanders and Warren have often been allies in the Senate, but their 2020 presidential campaigns got pretty ugly with each other. The senator from Massachusetts also has a re-election bid in 2024, which she said she'll pursue. I think she'd be best off doing that, because after Biden, there's not a Democrat who can win. Number 3, Kamala Harris. We're dropping Harris down a slot this time. Being vice president is certainly a good launch pad, but it's not all clear that Harris has put it to good use. Her numbers are similar to Biden's, as in terrible, and she's done little to change the perceptions that harmed her 2020 campaign, including her ability to drive a message or to complete a sentence within 4 minutes, because she keeps adding words like she's writing a term paper that has 2 minutes, doesn't have enough words in it yet. Anyway, there's also no way she would run against Biden, and if he does run, while others might have seen wiggle room on that, on the plus side, Biden has committed to her being his running mate again. Well, fantastic, because nobody likes her either. Number 2, Pete Buttigieg, Mr. Paternity leave transportation secretary and failed mayor of what's that, South Bend, Indiana? Come on. The transportation secretary moves ahead of Harris, but not with any great conviction on our part. He ran a good campaign in 2020. We'll repeat that he was very close to winning the first 2 contests and would enter 2024 with more heft as a cabinet secretary. Mostly, we'd expect a Bidenless race to be one of the most wide-open contests in recent memory. Yeah, a wide-open race to whoever's going to lose to either Trump or DeSantis is what I'm seeing. To the extent people don't want Biden or Harris, he's the next in line just in terms of sheer plausibility. Yeah. Right. And then number 1, President Biden, the helpless one himself. You can read that one yourself. I'm done with this article. Let's move on, because I'm really getting behind on my proposed time of getting this show done today. Let's see. I'm going to skip that. And I already opened that one. Let's skip that one. Well, let's get caught up in Ukraine, because that's kind of what I have next on the book here. So, Here we go. So let's get caught up on Ukraine via Twitter, as we've been doing. Again, get out your bucket of salt, either salt or salt lick, depending on how you want to interpret that. Russia strikes at western Ukraine city of Lviv, leaves multiple people dead. Russia launched launched more long-range attacks with air raids and missile strikes across Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, and other major cities on Saturday. Moscow said its warplanes struck a tank repair factory in the capital. The mayor of Kyiv said at least 1 person has died. Reuters reports the attacks were launched following the sinking of Russia's Black Sea Fleet flagship on Friday. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky told CNN on Friday that other countries should be prepared for the possibility that Russian President Vladimir Putin could use nuclear weapons in the ongoing war. Spain says it will reopen its embassy in Kyiv in the coming days. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said Monday the reopening will be a new sign of the commitment to the Spanish government and society to the Ukrainian people. Sanchez said in an interview with Spanish TV Antenna 3. Also, Russia launched $1 million worth of caliber missiles on Lviv to hit a car repair shop. Why? To kill civilians. 7 people. Now that's interesting. So the other one said, didn't it say a tank facility? And this says they launched millions of dollars of weapons to hit a car repair shop. Why? To kill civilians. 7 people died, to show that nowhere in Ukraine is safe, and also because it feels with total impunity that no one has the courage to close the sky over Ukraine. So this is, let's see, Olga Turk is an independent journalist, non-resident fellow, disinformation researcher. Disinformation research, great. In a special relationship with Italy. And she has 394,000 followers. And I don't know if she's Ukrainian or not. But anyway, they have just the pictures of them destroying. It's interesting because I don't know, did they only hit the car repair shop? Did they launch them on the car repair shop? Or is that just one of the buildings they hit? Again, F the Russians on this, but I still don't have a team. I'm not Team Ukraine either, but fuck the Russians on this shit. So anyway, there's several articles in this link that will be in the tab, or the one link tab in the description after the show. If you want to get caught up, there's multiple stories from multiple major news organizations on that. Breitbart says, Russia says Ukrainians in besieged Mariupol guaranteed to keep their lives if they surrender. They've made it apparently an offer. The Russian military has told Ukrainian troops in the besieged port of Mariupol that if they lay down their weapons, they'll be guaranteed to keep their lives. The Russian Defense Ministry made the announcement early Sunday. Colonel General Mikhail Mizintsev said that the Ukrainians encircled at the giant Azovstal steel factory were given until 1 p.m. to surrender. Now, I don't know what the results of that, because this is from yesterday. It was the latest such offer to the Ukrainian defenders of the key Sea of Azov port during a siege that has lasted more than 1.5 months. Capturing Mariupol is a key strategic goal for Russia, allowing it to secure a land corridor to Crimea, which was annexed by Moscow in 2014. The fall of Mariupol would also free the Russian forces involved in the siege for a planned offensive in Ukraine's eastern industrial heartland called Donbas. The giant Azovstal steel mill that covers an area of more than 11 square kilometers which is 4.2 square miles, is the last major sector of the Mariupol still under Ukrainian control. Russian Defense Ministry spokesman Major General Igor Konashenkov said Saturday that about 2,500 Ukrainian troops remain in Azovstal, a claim that couldn't be independently verified. The Ukrainian officials didn't mention any numbers for the city's defenders. So, Russia wants that eastern half of Ukraine where all the oil is, and they're going to take it over one way or another. And this is interesting. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said he spoke Saturday with the leaders of Britain and Sweden about how best to help those defending Mariupol and the tens of thousands of civilians trapped inside the besieged city. Mariupol's fate can be decided either through a battle or diplomacy, he said. Either our partners give Ukraine all of the necessary heavy weapons, the planes without exaggeration immediately. That's his words, not mine. So we can reduce the pressure of the occupiers on Mariupol and break the blockade, he said in his nightly video address to the nation. Or we do so through negotiations in which the role of our partners should be decisive. So interesting. He's still, he's still trying to get more help. I'm flabbergasted by this whole thing. You'd think they bomb a repair shop because the Russians don't want Ukrainian tanks repaired. Well, that's what I would think, but he said it was an auto repair shop, so I don't know. Let's see. Let's move on here. Russia is warning Sweden, Finland about joining NATO, saying nobody wants nukes a stone throw from their house. Interesting. So, as Finland and Sweden consider applying to join NATO in the coming months, Moscow is warning that abandoning their long-standing neutrality will attract a Russian response, including the deployment of nuclear weapons in their neighborhood. Finnish and Swedish Prime Ministers Sanna Marin and Magdalena Andersson indicated at a joint press conference in Stockholm on Wednesday that their country, as members of the European Union but not NATO, will consider applying to join the transatlantic alliance soon. Marin said Russia's invasion of Ukraine has changed everything. A Russian response came from Dmitry Medvedev, the former president and prime minister who's deputy head of President Vladimir Putin's Security Council and only heads the pro-Kremlin United Russia Party. If, quote, if Sweden and Finland join NATO, the length of the alliance's land border with Russia will be more than double. The TASS state news agency quoted him as saying in a Telegram post, naturally, it will be necessary to strengthen these borders. In such a scenario, Medvedev said, the security balance in the area will have to be restored, and there can no longer be talk about the Baltic's non-nuclear status. Until today, Russia has not taken such measures, nor was it going to do so, he said, suggesting that it may be forced to do so. So they're threatening to put more nuclear weapons right up in the borders of Finland and Sweden, or in those areas, and so he's threatening them if they decide to join NATO. So there's a lot more to that. Finland and Russia share an 800-mile border right there, as you can see on the map here. And while Sweden doesn't necessarily have a border with Russia, it's still, these two countries right now are not part of NATO. But the thing about that is, Estonia and Latvia are members of NATO, and they are bordered to Russia too. So this is fascinating. I'm going to get the hair in my mouth. It's they're all playing chess right now. They're all playing chess. Also, I'm not going to read this one, but there's also an article here about the broken political system that is uniting over Ukraine, how Americans are just all of a sudden, well, you know, it's the left who's been bitching about Russia for 6-7 years, and now the right who's never saw a war that they didn't like. A lot of them are all getting all, what's the word? All hunky-dory over Ukraine. Congress of consistent Republican hawks and raging Democrat partisans are starting to have a kumbaya over Ukraine. And I'm like, I don't know. Let's see. So I'll give you the beginning of this. Does the American political system work? It is designed to be responsive to the public and its concerns, theoretically providing a way for a variety of opinions to be heard through the people's elected representatives. This description is aspirational, but there is also something substantive to it. Public pressure is the reason George W. Bush's amnesty plans were foiled, and it was the reason parents have put school boards on their heels after pushing an increasingly woke curriculum. While you can't count on politicians for much, you can be assured that they all want to get reelected and therefore must at least try to be cognizant of public sentiment. When it comes to foreign policy, however, the system breaks down. This is particularly apparent when a Democrat is president. The failure of the system to permit real politics, that is, a means to identify and resolve disagreement, comes from two distinct sources: congressional Republicans' bad instincts on policy and the permanent bureaucracy's near religious commitment to foreign policy adventurism. As the old saw goes, politics ends at the water's edge. While it sounds pleasant and unifying, this sentiment is not entirely healthy and contradicts the system outlined by the Constitution. Although the president may have near monarchical control over peacetime foreign policy, declarations of war still have to come from the Congress. Congress retains the power of the purse, and treaties must be approved by the Senate. In other words, the wants of the American public are supposed to have a voice, chiefly in Congress. Exemplifying healthier respect for public opinion, there were heated debates ahead of America's entry into World War I and World War II, with public opposition to the latter only broken by the Pearl Harbor attacks. Vietnam famously fractured the nation, and the Democrats reeled from widespread opposition to the draft and the war. After Vietnam, the parties came more divided by foreign policy, with Republicans being the hawks and Democrats the doves. Consequently, almost all opposition to military action arose from Democrats against Republican presidents, such as the sustained opposition to Ronald Reagan's Central America policy, or later George W. Bush's pursuit of the Iraq War. With retrospect, at least some of the Democrats' criticism was warranted, even if it was levied for rank partisan reasons. Parties being what they are, and in spite of their highfalutin pacifist rhetoric, Democrats almost all support military intervention when one of their own holds the presidency. For example, the partisans who spent the entire George W. Bush presidency complaining about the Iraq War eagerly supported U.S. intervention in Syria and Libya under President Obama. By contrast, most congressional Republicans have mechanically embraced their hawk persona, even when a Democrat is still president. Bill Clinton received significant Republican support for the Kosovo War in 1999, including favorable votes from Senator Mitch McConnell and Chuck Nagel. When Republicans do offer something like opposition, it may be a misnomer to call it that. Republicans' criticism typically focuses on Democrats. Okay, this word throws me every time. Pusillanimity. Whatever the fuck that means, such as the repeated criticism of Obama and the Iran nuclear deal. Anyway, the point of this is now they're all fucking kumbaya for this shit, and I don't know why. So you can read the rest of that article yourself. There's another one here. And also the White House quietly resumes scheme to shuffle migrants from border to the American interior. You can check this out, but Biden's bringing a lot of these illegal crossers they're shipping them to certain cities. Now, Texas has an interesting solution. They've been sending buses of these illegal immigrants to Washington, D.C. And I'm not going to go, you can read this on your own, but it's one of those where we're not doing anything to stop them from coming across the border right now. I mean, and I don't know, I haven't really kept up on this Title 42 or whatever that's supposed to be expiring, but all I understand is that it's going to cause more of a wave. Good news. Now, let me close this for a second. I'm in the odds and ends section because I'm running out of time, so I want to give you just a few of these that caught my eye as far as, what the hell's going on here? Oh, I see. A few articles that caught my eye that I thought that were just some odds and ends, things that we think might be interesting, humorous, or sad. Well, the White House COVID coordinator has given the green light to have another White House Correspondents' dinner. Oh, joy. Oh, joy. Did I screw that up, didn't I? White House Coronavirus Response Coordinator Ashish Jha said on Sunday that the White House Correspondents' Dinner should go on ahead as planned this month, despite the local rise of new stupid 19 cases due to the spread of the BA2 variant. Oh, you mean the one that gives mild cold symptoms? Speaking to Fox News Sunday anchor Mike Emanuel, Jha said, "We are at a point in this pandemic, Mike, where I think we can gather safely. That's the key point." Well, of course, because all the journalists and all the special people, of course they can gather safely because none of them will ever have this stupid 19 because they're all journalists and have special immunity and they don't need masks for anything and they can just move around as well. Anyway, he said, "I don't think events like this need to be canceled. I think if people put in good safeguards, they can make it substantially safer. Make sure that people are vaccinated. Make sure you have testing, improve ventilation, add a job." Oh, yes. Because the BA2 doesn't necessarily, if you get vaccinated, you're protected from the BA2. Oh, wait, I might get in trouble for misinformation there. Anyway, these are the strategies we have learned over the last 2 years. And if we implement them, do I think it's safe for people to gather together indoors? Absolutely. Well, fan-freaking-tastic. We're all allowed to gather indoors if you are proceeding safely. All right, let's move on. In the Washington Post, this one cracked me up. Thank you, Ranting Monkey, for, if you see this ever, thank you for bringing this one to my attention. Apparently, well, here it is. 2 local diversity advocates in Arizona are taking heat for calling a school district racist for hiring a DJ to perform in blackface. Oh no! They hired someone to DJ to perform in blackface at a district school event? Oh, wait a minute. It turns out the DJ was black. Stuart Roden and Jill Lassen, who specialize in diversity, equity, and inclusion. Oh, when you hear the word equity, run. Lambasted the Scottsdale Unified School District's Hopi Elementary PTA for its decision to hire Kim Coco Hunter, 56, a local black DJ at a charity event. You can't even be black anymore. What's the deal? Both Roden and Lassen, who are involved in diversity work in the school district, slammed the school district after seeing a picture of Hunter, only later to learn his race, according to the Arizona Daily Independent, which I'll also put that article out there. The DJ at the Hopi PTA, the Hopi PTA hired was in fact a black man. Hopi PTA President Megan Livingood wrote in a response to Lassen in a message obtained by the outlet, "It is insulting that you feel myself or PTA condone racist behavior or encourage it by posting on social media." So anyway, they posted this picture and they accused the brother here of not being a brother. This is a fellow right here. Now, he was wearing this silly wig because apparently it was a 70s themed party. But clearly, well, I don't know. Maybe it's not clearly that this is not blackface. I don't know, apparently, because they're stupid people who are so caught up on equity and inclusion that they can't look at a picture more closely to see if it's actually a black person. Or at least ask the question, you dumb Anyway, according to the Independent, Lassen, a librarian, responded by saying, "You're right. We should have reached out and inquired more before making such an accusation. I cannot fathom the hurt and anger and frustration you felt after you and others volunteered countless hours on your event. Again, I truly apologize." Because you're a dumbass. I mean, the brother's a brother. I mean, he's wearing a silly wig, probably because it's 70s themed. Anyway, now see, there's a picture of him without the wig. Clearly a brother. But Roden, who is an instructor at Arizona State University, did not appear particularly apologetic. Posted a side-by-side image of Hunter on Facebook to try to show the DJ darkened his face to show he's black. Okay, hold up. I gotta see this. Hang on. I gotta see this just to see if this side by side. Let me look this up real quick. Where's the side by side? He put a side by side on Facebook. Oh no. Okay, it's not even in the article. Oh, I see. Here we go. Is this it? Student Roden. Oh, it doesn't show it. Anyway, all right. He's saying, "Oh my God, you know how when I'm doing my show, and sometimes I look at the screen over here and I go, ugh, that's messed up. I look weird. I look like, people look different in different lights. Your skin tone and whatever can look different in different lights. Anyway, let me be clear. A black man, apparently in blackface, is an entirely different discussion than a white person," he wrote on Facebook. "However, it seems at the very least he is in darker makeup, if not blackface, or I am completely mistaken, and it's the lighting of the patio." Hey, dipshit. You should have just shut the fuck up as soon as they told you he was a black man. Just shut up. Just stop asking the stupid ass question, because you got it wrong, and they told you got it wrong. They told you he was a black man. They showed you a picture of him, and you should have just shut the hell up. Anyway, according to Hunter's Facebook Live, an organizer called someone he works with following the event and asked if he was black. So this is Stuart Roden, a brother here, who's acting like, oh my God, this hurts my head. Oh my God. They thought that the DJ there or the person there was in blackface, and the person that they thought was in blackface was me, Hunter said. This is the DJ. Wait a minute. In their defense, he said to his friend on the Facebook Live with him, "How many chips in the ice cream did you see?" Anyway, so that's some That's some dumb internet shit right there. Just trying too hard. That tells me that's just trying too hard. That's trying too hard. Anyway, I'm going to finish with this. I got one more article, but I want to just do some highlights real quick, and then I'll go back to my last article. It's an article with a little bit of schadenfreude. But there is, Ilhan Omar is engaged in a little controversy because apparently she did not like the fact that there were some people singing on a plane. And so she tweeted something stupid. And so let's see if I can find the tweet first. Here it is. Here is Ilhan Omar's tweet. She was very upset that apparently that there were some Christian people singing on an airplane in here. Now, maybe it's out of context, but here it is. So she writes, I think my family and I should have a prayer session next time I'm on a plane. How do you think it will end? Now, this is, she came to this video of these people on the plane singing on a plane, singing Christian songs. Okay, so it's hard to tell because the singing is not that great. Okay, so now she writes, I think my family and I should have a prayer session next time I'm on a plane. How do you think it would? Now, this is on Easter that she writes this. And it's, and it's funny because, well, this person said if a Muslim prayed on a plane during Holy Day and someone posted online mocking their faith, how do you think that would end? They have a good point. But anyway, so this is causing some controversy because, because she's mocking Christians and then she was slammed for criticizing the video of people doing this, right? And then a bunch of people are in her throat over this. And I think there's a problem. Now, I can see, I think it's crazy that she even opened her mouth because she made it sound like this was just some random flight that people were on that were, just all of a sudden these people decided to get up and sing on a random flight in the middle of thing and she's saying, oh, well, Muslims did that, blah, 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 blah. And so here's the thing. This wasn't just a random flight. So now I'll give you two articles on this. One from the New York Post. Omar slammed for criticizing videos showing people singing Christian songs on a plane. Ilhan Omar has come under fire for deriding a video showing passengers singing Christian songs aboard a plane and wondering what might happen if her Muslim family also held a prayer session in flight. So she made that claim. Now, here's the thing. This flight was just not any flight. This was a flight of people flying to Europe to aid people in Ukraine is apparently what it was. It doesn't say it here in this article, but this was kind of a mission flight. A mission flight, probably mostly Christian people who probably, were just trying to entertain themselves on this flight to where they're going. So I have two articles, one from the New York Post, which is tends conservative, obviously. And I also have one from the New York Daily News, which is very liberal. Now, it's interesting. Now, they say the context of the social media post making the rounds on Easter Sunday is unclear. In it, a man with a guitar is joined by numerous pastors in a sing-along. TMZ reports that the original video was shot by Jack Jess Jr., who leads a group called Kingdom Realm Ministries. The original posting appears to have been deleted. It's unclear if the plane was privately chartered or if some passengers on board were a captive audience, because she was claiming that, they're a captive audience. You Christians are out there proselytizing on a plane. It was a mission plane going to help, flying to Europe with aid for Ukrainians. Anyway, so you can read about that. The other tabs I have, let's see, that's Ilhan Omar still. And someone else said, she's triggered by Christians singing on an airplane, yet she ignores the actual violence committed by her co-religionists against a group of innocent religious Jews walking to pray in Jerusalem. So there's a tweet here where these three guys are going walking to pray and they get attacked by a crowd of apparently Palestinians or whatever. So anyway, also in the tabs, in the link below, apparently there's, in Florida news, 2 convicted sex offenders returned to the villages for Easter holiday. Two convicted sex offenders returned to the villages. This is in Florida for the Easter holiday. Both sex offenders, 45-year-old Jonathan Pence and 30-year-old Stephanie Seabury, share the distinction of landing back behind bars after quietly moving in with their parents in Florida's friendliest hometown. The Pence was convicted in 2000 of lewd and lascivious molestation involving a minor, the ages 13 and 15, in Oakland, Michigan. He was also convicted of carrying a concealed weapon in 2000, as well as being convicted in 2005 of armed robberies of gas stations and a Radio Shack in Canton, Wayne, and Westland, Michigan. Pence moved in with his parents in 2016. They just saying where he moved to. And then, so basically they moved 2 sex offenders into this town, so that's Florida news. Let's see. Oh, there's also one. I'm not going to show this one, but this is funny. Shorty said fights ain't fair. You gotta watch this video. I'm not going to show it on this channel, but apparently there was a fight between 2 women. One had a bat, and it's an interesting thing that happened. Also, I'm going to miss this one. This is an interesting thread called "The Trans Cult is a Corporate Creation and is not something that has always existed." This is I would say it comes off as a radical feminist that is against trans people, but there are some points in here that she makes. I may save it for tomorrow. And then finally, let's read the article of the day, or the finishing article of the day, which is kind of a schadenfreude. Oh, I don't have time for this either. Shoot. Well, I'll tell you what. Here's what I'll do. This political article, apparently, this article, there's a group called Community Environmental Legal Defense Fund. Okay? And these are people that they're radical environmentalists who say that lakes and rivers and certain elements of nature have legal rights. But now this very left-wing organization is being accused of transphobia. Since last summer, 7 of the 15 staffers or contract attorneys have left the nonprofit Community Environmental Legal Defense Fund, which gained some renown in recent years as a leader of the rights of nature movement to win civil rights for parts of the environment. 3 of those who quit told E&E News the organization was divided by a toxic work culture that resisted efforts to make it more inclusive for LGBTQ people. Kira Kelly, the former contract attorney, said the current CLEDF staffer repeatedly misgendered and transgender and non-binary people when referring to them in conversations. Kelly and other former staffers said a different coworker made comments about chemicals in water turning people transgender. Oh, is that person been watching Alex Jones? They make the frogs turn gay? Anyway, I should have quit long before I did, said Kelly, who did legal work for, I'll just say CELD, before leaving the organization in November. Kelly uses both they, them, and she, her pronouns and identifies as agender, meaning they do not think of themselves as having gender. Okay, hold up. It just said okay. Kelly uses both they, them, and she, her pronouns, and identifies as agender, meaning they do not think of themselves as having a gender. But still, it would not be wrong to say she or her, because she's probably clearly a female, even if she's probably a heifer. Did I say that out loud? I didn't mean to say that out loud. Anyway, in an interview, Stacey Schmader, the group's executive director, acknowledged hearing a staff member not using people's appropriate pronouns on staff calls which she described as not respecting other people. But in a statement Seld posted to the website in February after E&E News inquired about the workplace complaints, the group denied the accusations of a hostile environment. Quote, current leader, former staff, and others have accused Seld of having a culture that espouses transphobia. That story is false and unfounded. In that statement, the group also addressed the public support of a campaign in Nevada backed by Deep Green Resistance, a loose collection of environmental activists against a project that, if it moves forward, will be the largest U.S. lithium mine. So anyway, this is just some blue-on-blue crime going on. You can read the rest. It's kind of funny. And I'm going to have to call it a day because I'm out of time. But hey, gang, thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate you dropping by. 31 in the room, 16 likes, hit the like button right now before you click anything else. And after you do that, you can share the stream before, during, after the stream. And if you're watching on replay, put a comment in the comment section so I can acknowledge you, because I don't always know who's here when the chat's not rolling. Hello again, Unacceptable Views, and Neon Leon, and a couple other people who came here. Ken Lee, what's happening? All the people who showed up later that I didn't say hi to yet. And, and Lord Stanhope, too. So that's it for today. You know that I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern. I had something else to tell you guys. I can't remember what it was. We had a nice Easter. I don't know. That was good. I hope you all had a nice Easter. Or if you don't celebrate Easter, I hope you had a nice weekend. I just hope you have a nice life. That's me, my form of sharing and caring. And we'll be back tomorrow with some more goofiness. It'll be it's either TikTok or Twitter Tuesday. We'll do a little bit of both. Find some things. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful day. I will be back tomorrow. Get your taxes in at least postmarked by midnight. On tax day, most post offices will stay open until midnight, or at least do their last collection at midnight. And so if they collect at midnight, they will stamp your whatever you send with the right postmark with the proper day, and you should be okay. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's all. Thank you. My name is P. Dog Knight. And I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P. Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.